Hello, gentlemen. Where George and Sean are both setting up their boards again, perhaps now is a good time to do a troop totals video, and I think I'm the appropriate person to do it because I was covering both Germany, Italy, Japan, and I had to have a good grasp of the whole board, so I think it's probably pretty accurate. Anyway, let's get started without any further ado, and if there are any discrepancies, certainly, by all means, bring them to my attention. Central United States, America has six infantry. There are two fighters and two AA in Eastern. He has four transports out to sea and 101. On board, one of them is a British infantry and a British artillery. In 91, there's a British destroyer. One, two, three American transports, one cruiser, one destroyer, one carrier with one fighter. Morocco has six newly landed American infantry. There is nothing in Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, or Tobruk, all four of which are owned by the British. In Alexandria, there's a British tank. In Egypt, there's a infantry, an AA gun, and an artillery, an AA gun, and two infantry. A minor factory we all know about, and a naval base. He has a transport out to sea. There's nothing in Union of South Africa. I have an air base. No, I think that doesn't belong there. Anyway, let's move up to 90. Two carriers with four fighters, one battleship, one cruiser, British, one destroyer, French, one transport, British. Greece has one Italian mech. The convoy total for Italy last round was the entirety, 2 points. I didn't even roll it. With fighters doing it, there's no point. You have three subs, British Persuasion in 97. There's also an Italian sub and a German sub there as well. In Rome, there are three fighters, one strat, two artillery, one tank, two AA, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 infantry, Italian. Northern Italy, five German mechs, one Italian infantry, two Italian AA, one Italian tank, two Italian artillery. Southern France was taken by the Germans after a softening by the Italians last round, which is why I think you have the discrepancy of four men. Some of them came here, they died, and the tank retreated to northern Italy. So we have two German infantry in southern France. In Normandy, I have the following, starting with aircraft. One American fighter, four British fighters, one British TAC, one British strat bomber, seven British infantry, two British AA, one British tank, one British mechanized unit. American units are as follows: three artillery, two tanks, five infantry, one fighter. Out to sea in Sea Zone 110, there are 5 American transports, one of which is holding a British AA gun. There's a battleship, a carrier with two American fighters, three destroyers, as well as three British transports and two British destroyers. In London, there's one fighter, 3, 4, 5 infantry, one AA, and one American strat bomber. Up in Norway, we have everything from here on is German. We have two mech, one artillery. In Denmark, there are 3, 4, 5, 6 infantry, one AA, two fighters, one air base, and one tactical bomber. 113, one destroyer, two transports. Western Germany has quite a bit. There's three fighters, three strategic bombers, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 infantry, 1, 2, 3 mechanized units, 1 AA, 3, 4, 5, 6 artillery, and 6 tanks as well. 3 infantry in Germany, in Berlin, Leningrad has 1 AA gun, 1 fighter, 1 TAC. Romania has 2 Italian tanks, 1 Italian mech. Greece has an Italian mech. In Ukraine, there is a factory with what appears to be 5-6 damage on it. Iraq, 1 Frenchman, the last in the planet. 2 British infantry. Persia has 1 infantry, British, 2 artillery, and 2 tanks, British. Northwest Persia has 3 infantry, British, 2 Anzac, 1 Russian infantry, 1 Russian artillery, and 1 Russian AA gun. Caucasus has 6 artillery and 6 infantry. Stalingrad has an AA gun, 5, 6, 7, 8 tanks, 1, 2, 3 mech, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 infantry. Tambov is owned by the Germans with 1 infantry. Samara was newly taken with 3 Russian infantry. Volgda was as well with 2 Russian tanks. Novosibirsk has 1, 2, 3 Russian infantry, 3, 4, 5 Russian artillery, and 1 AA gun. Kazakhstan has 1 Russian infantry, as does Sisgang, as does Sensi. Seowan, there are 4 Russian infantry. Kangsu is liberated. It's owned by the Chinese. Shanghai is as well. Qichao has 1 Chinese infantry. Sichuan has 4 infantry and 1 fighter. Yunnan was retaken, but only with 1 Japanese mech. Yunnan is owned by the Japanese. Nothing is there. Guangxi as well. We placed 3 infantry for Japan in Guangdong. There's nothing in Kangxi or Kangsu or Shantung or Jahal. Anhui has 1 tank and 1 mech. Hopei is owned by the Chinese, but there are no ground units there. Chahar has 3 artillery, 1 AA, 1 infantry, and 2 tanks. Manchuria has 1 mechanized unit. Buryatia does as well. Everything else is empty of ground troops, but it's all owned by the Japanese. Siam has but 1 tactical bomber. C-Zone 37 has a carrier with 2 tanks and a cruiser. Sumatra has 1 mech and 1 transport in 41. We have to do India. There's a Russian TAC bomber, 2 Russian fighters, 1 British TAC bomber, 3 Anzac fighters, 1 British artillery, 2 British artillery, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 British infantry, and 1 AA gun. Java, 1 Japanese infantry, and 1 transport out to sea. Borneo is owned by us. Celebes, 1 infantry, 1 mech, and 1 transport out to sea there as well. In C-Zone 35, there are 2 subs, 2 transports, 2 battleships, 2 carriers, 4 fighters, 1 cruiser. Philippines has 1 AA gun and 3 fighters. 21 has a destroyer, 22 has a destroyer, 17 has a destroyer, 6 has a destroyer, 2 carriers, 3 fighters, 1 tactical bomber, 1 transport. On Japan, there is 1 infantry, 1 mech, 2 AA guns, and 1 strap bomber. The Aleutian Islands is still owned by Japan. There is 1 infantry there. Alaska has 1 strap bomber, 1 artillery, 2 mechs. There's nothing in Western United States thereafter. Honolulu has 2 fighters on it, as well as 2 AA, 1 artillery, 1 infantry. There is a unescorted transport in C-Zone 26. Dutch New Guinea, you know what? I didn't update this. The Anzac made some moves. I can give you the Americans with some accuracy, but the Anzac forces have moved a bit. So, America has a battleship, an aircraft carrier with 1 fighter, 1 tank, 3 destroyers, 1 transport, 2 cruisers. Anzac has at least 1 full carrier with 2 fighters, a cruiser, a transport, and 1 artillery there. There was also an American carrier with 2 fighters in 54. I believe it's still there. And I still had 1 infantry in Queensland for the United States as well. Anzac had 1 fighter in New South Wales, but I believe they purchased a carrier Landed it, and a fighter, by the way. And landed it there, I'm not sure. But I also had 2 destroyers in the theater in 54, as well as a Mech 2AA, 1 tank in Queensland. Again, this might be the only place on the board I'm not confident about, but we can certainly square it away. Anyway, I'll post this and you guys can update your boards.